Hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. And with me tonight, I actually have my good friend Charlie. I also have my other friend Sean. Say hello to everybody.
Hey,
Hello.
And tonight is going to be the night that we're actually reviewing Dexter season 2. This is actually our after show going all the way up into the new season of Dexter. We have no clue at when the new season is going to start, but we know that it's actually going to be happening. But I thought this would be a good way for us to go ahead and talk about Dexter from season 1 all the way up until the final season, until we actually have the new season. So, with that being said, let's go on ahead and do a little recap. So, the last time we actually saw Dexter, he wanted pretty much Paul lost a shoe. He winds up losing his shoe because Dexter drags him out of the house because he winds up beating him over the head with a frying pan because he was talking smack about Rita and about how he's not a good role model for the kids and everything. And next thing you know, Dexter hits him over the head with a frying pan. Next thing you know, Dexter winds up dragging him out of the house and puts a heroin needle in his arm and puts him in a hotel room. And then also, too, calls up the cops. And next thing you know it, Paul is now taken to jail. And this is actually where it actually picks up at. And I'm actually glad that they picked up from that part of the season and everything because I really feel like that they needed to focus in on what's going to be happening with Paul through the season. What do you think?
I thought Paul was all talk and no show, really. I mean, all those times in season one, he was like threatening to punch Dexter, but he didn't do it. He's just he did all this talk, but Dexter was really the one that just kind of shut him up. And I think he really like you said. I mean, I thought he was annoying to be honest, and I'm glad Dexter just just did the job that he was supposed to and he didn't kill him, but he let somebody else kill him.
yeah,
Right. He pretty much let his own fate kill him, basically.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Because
yeah,
remember, even right. Go on ahead, Sean.
yeah. And then like I guess when it does get to him, he's calling Rita, trying to get her to find some evidence to get him out. You know what I mean? So I don't know. To me, like when he's calling her, you can see how desperate he is, even though, like you said before, he's kind of a hothead, and that's why you hate him. And also, you're cheering for Dexter the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do feel kind of bad for him a little bit, don't you? For him trying to get out, even though Dexter put him there.
Just a little bit,
Not,
but at the same time, he's an ex heroin addict, a woman beater, and everything too. And he's 2 for 2 on that. But the heroin addiction is not as bad as the abusing the woman that he's with.
Definitely.
So I would actually have to put him up there. That's actually what I have against him, is him abusing a woman and putting his hands on a woman.
Mhm.
And that's what I have to say that I have against him. So that's why I'm actually happy that he's behind bars.
Yeah.
And then he tried to lie about it too after he entered the house. He tried to hurt Rita, and then Rita beat him up with the bat, and he played the victim card. But she hit me, and it almost worked until Dexter I'm done with this guy. I'm taking care of it. Like he let his dark passenger take over and did it, and that's why I didn't feel sorry for him. Even at like that, he was like he put himself in there, and I just got kind of mad at Rita for falling for it. I'm like, come on, Rita. You're with Dexter. Like, seriously, Paul is going to do the same thing over and over again. It's
a repetitive, right?
Don't feel sorry for yourself, and don't get angry at Dexter for doing something that Dexter is able to do.
Exactly. But at the same time, though, I mean, I understand where she's coming from as well. Number one, I know Sean can relate to this, though, too, with him having kids. She knows that she has kids with him and everything, and she wants to make it work on some type of level, even though they're not together. She still wants to have that connection with him so he can be there for the kids at least. With him being behind bars and everything, it breaks away from that connectivity with the kids. So that's another thing too that I can see why Rita is actually, saddened by the fact that he's behind bars. It's not for her, it's for the kids.
Yeah.
Because she's over him. It's just the kids are the important thing in her life, aside from Dexter. That's what I got from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she just wanted, I guess, her kids to have, even though Paul is a piece of shit, to have some sort of normalcy for the kids.
Yeah.
So hopefully he won't be as bad to them, and they can have a father figure. Even though Dexter's pretty good as a dad, he has fun with them. Right. See him playing and everything.
Bring them donuts.
Right.
Bring some donuts, pancakes.
Right. Egos.
Egos.
I like the transition from the kids from the beginning of the season to that, because they're the ones that seem to be like, as soon as Paul was gone, they seem like, hey, is Dexter our dad now? Like, because I mean, the kids were able to pick up on it a lot faster than Rita did, and that's what I thought was kind of cool, because the kids were like, hey, and they're happy that Dexter was with Rita, because Dexter treats them right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And another thing, though, too, that I actually want to put out there as well, we're going to get into the whole mother and everything, too, at Rita's mother. Because that's actually something else that I didn't like. I didn't like Rita's mother, but we're going to get to that in a few. But Dexter is also trying to get over killing his brother. Dokes is also tailing Dexter in this season, because remember, he always calls him a weirdo. He calls him a desk geek and everything too.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't understand what Dexter does. Doesn't care. All he wants to do is catch the bad guy and be the hero. He doesn't understand blood work when it comes down to forensics and how that's used to actually help them and benefit them. But it starts off in the bowling alley, and Dexter knows that Dokes is actually watching him. And I really love how he's just being a smartass towards Dokes. It kind of reminds me of like Mafia, where where FBI agents are watching the Mafia, and the Mafia is over there just being a wise asses to him.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I felt with Dokes. It's like, okay, I'm gonna make the best of what I have right now. So he's bowling. He doesn't like bowling or anything like that. He's trying to fit in with the crowd like everybody else does, like Harry taught him with the code. And then, of course, he sees Dokes, and he goes, hey, I'm going to be here all night. The bowling alley closes at 12. And Dokes just walks off and is just pissed off at him. What do you think about that?
Dokes is just creepy. I mean, even though he's a cop, he just comes off as a creepy pedophile or something. Like, I mean... I mean, it just seems like that he's stalking Dexter for absolutely, like, for whatever his crazy reason or whatever. It's just he's always stalking him because he was mad because Dexter would have beat him up in a one-on-one fight. I mean, that's
wasn't the whole thing. He has a hunch that there's something off with Dexter.
Yeah, there was that after that, because he's like, the way he saw Dexter like manhandle him a little bit at the end of season 1 when he's going to the seeing Dexter's old like the crate where he was, like, where Harry found him as a child, where that brutal murder of his mother was. Whereas that was at the crate. So Dokes has got like some serious obsession over Dexter's past, and that's And then it's just creepy, but it's also because he got manhandled by Dexter. I mean, and like the sad thing. The sad thing is I didn't get to see a true fight between them, and I really wanted that.
But also, too, though, I mean, you have to put it in perspective with Dokes' side a little bit, though, too. Yeah. He was also in the Army. He also has a sixth sense when it comes down to people that are off.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he also is a cop, of course. So he has two things going for him, that he actually goes on his hunches, his senses, and also what he learned at the police academy.
Yeah,
so,
like as the series progresses, or as the season progresses, you see that, and like his cop military intuition, like, is really good. Like, you don't want him to be chasing Dexter, but it's like he kind of knows something's up with him. So, Dokes is a dick. He's still like, I don't know. I don't like his character as much, but I mean, he sticks to his principles.
Yeah,
like when he goes after one of his own later on. An ex-ranger, I believe.
Yeah.
He has to turn him in. That's the law. Like, he's following it.
Didn't he kill him? Yes.
No. Yeah, he does. That's right. He does.
He shoots him on the boat and then just leaves, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, like, he wanted to bring him in so he could prosecute him, and he was like, nah, I'm not going out like that. Sorry.
The other problem, too, that Dokes probably had is, like, if he say he found with Dexter, he wasn't get credit for it. LaGuardia was going to steal the credit from him anyway. I mean, she's a media whore. I mean, all she wants to be is in front of the media the whole time. She doesn't have any detective principles. She has no problem selling out people. I mean, we'll get to it, but look what she did to the current her boss. I mean, it's like she's got issues, and yeah, I'm not a huge fan of hers anyway.
I don't like her either. Her whole entire motivation is just selfishness and everything.
Yeah.
But, you know, like I said, I mean, I understand I can't even side with her, though, to be honest with you. I can't even side with LaGuardia at all because of how manipulative that she actually is. And to be honest with you, like you said, all she cares is about the media and what the media thinks, and she feeds off of that and everything. And that's all she uses it for. She only uses her title to do media. It's not to actually help or benefit a case at all. Not once that I remember in a briefing when she actually tries to help the situation. Perfect example in season 1, whenever someone died, one of the criminals and everything got away with killing someone, and she winds up telling that person, oh, your son died, whenever in fact we don't even know if her son died or anything like that because we didn't see a body without any actual evidence. So she rushed it before she could even get factual evidence. So we also see how that's actually thrown into this mix, though, too, why she's actually demoted in this season. In the first half.
That's why I like Deb. She's the only one that has the guts to stand up to a court and like read past her bullshit.
Right. And matter of fact, speaking of Deborah, though, she's actually dealing with almost being a victim to her ex-fiance in this season. Rita's husband is in jail and wants Rita to help him. Like I said, this is everything that we mentioned before. But with Deborah, though, and stuff like that, she's dealing with a lot. She's dealing with anxiety. She's dealing with afraid of people being taken advantage of her because of the fact that she was a victim of someone that took advantage of her because he was a serial killer. So she's dealing with a lot.
Also, her pride was kind of hurt too because she didn't suspect him as being a serial killer. It's like the whole, especially early on before she meets Lundy, like her whole thing is dealing with that. How could she's supposed to be a good cop. She thinks she's a good cop. She is a good cop, but how could she let something like that get by her?
Yeah.
Well, also too, she at the same time, you're thinking of a civilian level at that point. You're off the clock. You're no longer a cop, so your whole entire perspective is down a lot more than what you are when you're a cop. So the perspective of everything is a civilian lifestyle rather than a cop lifestyle. So and then she's also opening up herself to him, and not having to worry about putting up a shield over her, a wall over her. So that's how he managed to get in over her. Now, if she would have actually had her walls up and had that cop perspective, like she was still on the clock, she would have known that there was something off with him.
Yeah. She was tough in this season.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. I mean, the person, like, what she had to go through and how she progressed through the season went on, and how, like, being like all scared and like the fake persona with the media to then like flat out reading past Lila's bullshit and pretty much seeing through that and helping out her coworkers. I mean, she was a team player. So
hey Tara, you need to actually check this show out. It's really good. Pretty much it's not on Netflix anymore. They took it off in December. And everything, they took it off the streaming site.
Yeah, it's on
Prime. It's on Prime, but you have to pay for the add-on though. That's the problem. Yeah, that's why I actually bought the whole series for like $40 on at Walmart. So,
I mean, I have Showtime, so that's
I must have clicked something then. I thought it was just with Prime.
It might still be on free for Prime. I don't know.
But yeah, this show is really good. It's very intense. And also, too, I like the fact that when she's exercising on the treadmill, it makes it feel like that she's actually running away from something. And that's why she's actually on the treadmill. So that's something that I really liked about that whole entire narrative. Even though she doesn't say that's what's going on, you can actually tell that's what she's trying to do, is run away from the things that happened in the first season.
Mm-hmm.
She's also living with Dexter.
Right. And this is actually pretty fun, though, seeing someone that's actually a neat freak, and
Yeah.
Deborah is the total opposite of that.
So,
Yep.
yeah,
I'm
just
like-
drinking out of the orange juice,
Yep.
leaving her clothes everywhere.
Handcuffing a guy while Dexter walks in.
Yeah, leaves for an awkward breakfast in the morning.
Yep.
Most definitely. And I also
Alright.
like the line when Dexter catches them. He goes, "Look, I'm going to go over to Lila's house and everything. You can be free to go in and handcuff your boyfriend again if you want to."
Yeah, like you can bring her back. You can bring him back over.
Yep.
But yeah, I thought that was really funny. Then, like I said, then you also have some other stuff going on. You also have the treasure hunters going into the water, looking at the bodies that Dexter's been dropping over it and everything over his boat. Yeah. And I really thought that was actually interesting that they actually brought that in. So, if you ever actually watch all the other seasons, it's dealing with a killer every single season. With this one, it's dealing with Dexter, about Dexter if he's going to get caught or not. Yeah. So I definitely love that aspect of it. They changed it up a little bit in the second season, not focusing on a different killer every season, but rather going ahead and focusing on Dexter. So that's something that I really liked.
Yeah, it was like the whole beginning of it. It was more on like Dexter's mentality. Like he was kind of losing it. He hadn't killed anyone since his brother, and so yeah, he tried to get someone, but he just wasn't feeling it. So he let him go. The guy that was doing curses. And then he was messing up because he finally got Chino, and he was like, "Oh, this will get me back to it." But then finally with the bags, he had his heart was going again, because the whole time he was trying to feel something, feel alive. And I guess with the police or the divers discovering his bodies, it was scary because now he's under the scope of the radar. Police. But yeah, the radar of the police. But like it got his adrenaline going. It was interesting to him.
Yeah,
so I thought that was really cool. And also that I guess Dexter's a big polluter. He's throwing plastic into the ocean. It's not cool.
I find it interesting that they went this. I found it interesting that they went this route this soon. Like immediately, like we're just like getting to know these characters, and we're thrown. All right, let's put a blowtorch under Dexter right now. Let's all of his kills that he's done in his entire career. I didn't even know he killed all these people. Like he didn't kill 18 people in season 1, I don't think. But having everything revealed, and not only that, there's so much stuff he had to deal with, and the him not being able to kill was kind of frustrating, because one of the Chino, when he got Chino went and killed this girl's mom. Yeah. And it's just like, I mean, and then the guilt Dexter had with that, and then all the times he tried to get Chino and it didn't really work out until suddenly it did. I thought that the first 2 episodes were a little annoying with that, about Dexter losing his act to kill to a brother that he didn't really know, and he had that creepy like obsession over that he had a brother, which I thought was kind of weird. But I think but once he finally killed somebody, then Dexter is like, okay, I haven't lost this. Yeah. But also you had to deal with Rita.
Yeah.
You see, I was thinking this though too. Like I was going in to it before the show with watching the first 3 episodes again, and I realized something similar to this. This is all about dealing with guilt. Rita's dealing with guilt because of her husband being in jail, her ex-husband being in jail because of Dexter. You're dealing with Dexter, who is actually guilty because of killing his brother. Deborah's feeling guilty because of the fact that her shield was off during that time and being taken advantage of. So you have 3 characters that we actually care about in the season that's dealing with guilt and shame, which is something that I really like. That was actually the theme of the first 3 episodes, was them dealing with guilt. How are they going to get out of that situations that they're actually in and dealing with it? So I actually like that, but it does become kind of annoying because of the fact that you feel like that it's just been going on and on. Because I actually thought that the complaining and stuff like that was through like almost the whole season, but it come to find out it's only like 3 episodes. So it's not as long as I thought it was. But if it wasn't for Rita taking Dexter's side and following up with the evidence in time, Paul would have gotten out again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he would not have been in that situation where he was fighting another prisoner and then he died in prison.
Mm-hmm.
And, so she blames herself for that because she was listening to Dexter, following her heart with Dexter rather than listen to her own self and say, hey, look, I need to go on ahead and help out Paul right now and put Dexter to the side for a minute and try and get him out because there is some level of truth with this shoe, but what's the actual full context of that story?
Yeah.
So,
and
that does bite Dexter in the ass a little bit with him not being able to socially connect with people because like Rita, like she goes to him and is talking to him like when Paul dies, it's like, hey, we're going to use this money, this $5,000 to throw him a funeral. And he's like, the government will, or the state will pay for it. Just use that for the kids' college. And same with Deb. Like Deb's having trouble and comes to him. And again, because he can't connect or connect to people, he's kind of like just goes over his head.
Well, he's also kind of thinking about for the money. I think it would have been like a good move for the kid. Like he was thinking about the kids.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that was the smart move to spend that money on the kids for their college, so you'd have that, so you can like that. I think Dexter was thinking about that. I guess he just didn't really care for Paul because of what Paul did to Rita and all the hell that he put her through. And Dexter was not like he was defending his woman essentially.
Yeah,
and
Dexter was going the more logical route, and Rita's using her emotions.
Right, and that's also something too that Harry actually taught him though too. Hold on, we're froze up a little bit. Are you guys unfroze or is it Charlie?
I'm good.
Hold on.
I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. But what I wanted to mention though was another thing that I was gonna say. I think that he was actually trying to do what Harry trained him to do, was being caring towards the person that he's actually with. And I think his way of actually trying to care for her was like, hey, why don't you go ahead and use that for your kid's college fund rather than someone that used to beat you?
Yeah.
So his level of thinking was right, but not at the right time or anything.
No. And then when then eventually Rita started questioning Dexter and asking about where'd you get the hair? Like he was at heroin. How do you know where to put the vein in the needle? And that's when Dexter lying that he is a drug addict. And of course in LA, which AA, which I didn't really like that whole aspect because I blame Rita for Lila. Because if Dexter got to AA, you never would have met Lila, and we'll get into her.
Right. Well, remember Dexter also too wanted to get out of AA. Remember?
Yeah.
In the he only went for maybe 30 minutes and then left before he could even get his pen. And Reed's like, well, where's your pen at? He goes, I think I'm good. I think I can face this on my own. And she goes, Dex, if you really want to be with me, if you really want this relationship to work, you have to stay for the whole AA meeting. And then that's when he meets Lila, and Lila reads him on his bullshit and everything, though, too. But
so Rita really got to blame herself for this one. Dexter knew something bad was going to happen, but Rita didn't believe him, and what we got? Lila.
And I also love the fact that whenever Dexter told her, I got the heroin from the evidence locker at work, he's telling her the truth. Yeah, I got the evidence at work, and then I went on ahead and injected into Paul's veins, and then after that I called the cops. But Rita didn't take it as him telling the truth.
No.
Or anything. He goes, so where have you been going all night, everywhere and everything, like you're fucking Clark fucking Kent and everything.
Yeah.
And he told her, look, I injected him with the needle. I did what I did, but no, she thinks that he went to some dealer still.
Yeah.
And how do you know how much to actually inject into Paul? She works for the police department. I mean, it's.
Well, the thing is,
he could
if he did steal it, well, which he did, take it from the police department. His whole argument was that it wasn't. He didn't plan it. Like he told her, like, "Oh no, it was spontaneous."
Right.
When actually he planned ahead to do this.
Yeah.
Right.
So if Rita knew that his intentions from the beginning was to get rid of Paul, it might have gone down differently between them.
Right.
Maybe.
I don't know.
And then she's like, well, you're going to AA. And then that's whenever I feel like this is actually when serial killers go to AA.
That's where they meet.
Right.
I'm surprised they didn't call it SKA, Serial Killers Anonymous.
That would be great.
Some people show up with trumpets. Like, wait, I thought this was a ska band. Like, ska concert now?
They could use the trumpet as a kill. I don't know, a kill weapon. I don't know what the serial killer's into.
Yeah, I mean, you get like a balloon, put a bunch of like knives or something in it, and then you shove it on the trombone, and then you just really.
But let's talk about little Chino for a minute, though, too. This he gets introduced into episode 2 with Waiting to Exhale, which is actually a perfect episode, like you said, whenever his heart starts up, Sean. And it feels like to me, though, too, it's like watching a tiger or a lion watch his prey. The way he's actually stalking Chino through the glass with his eyes. And he's like, ooh, I need to go ahead and get him. And of course, Chino is this big old huge 7-foot dude that you don't even want to mess with in the first place.
Which made me laugh when they first showed him when Dokes is walking him in. Because Dokes is so short and Chino's so tall. I'm like, God damn.
And the funny thing is, he used to be a football player, a pro football player.
Chino or Dokes?
Chino used to be a pro football. I forgot
Makes
what
sense.
team he played for. But I thought they picked the perfect person to play little Chino because that dude was built like a brick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I was Dexter, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to even fool with you.
Pass on this one.
He's not touching out 10-foot.
But I like what Dexter says. He goes, but I'm up for the challenge.
Yeah.
And the hunt. So he pretty much captures little Chino first. He brings him over to where the witch doctor was, the voodoo guy was. And that's, of course, when little Chino wakes up. And that's when Dexter is trying to put him back on the table and all that stuff. But Chino runs out. You were going to say something, though, Charlie?
No, I was reenacting like Dexter could have used some sort of like essentially him not killing is like ED. Like he needed a pill or something to kill.
I'll tell you what, if I would have messed with him.
I'm not making fun of ET. I just thought that's what Dexter needed. That's his condition. Because he was struggling to kill. Like multiple people he let go because he couldn't kill. And he had something, and like he needed something, like some sort of like thing to cure him of whatever was going on with him. Because, like I said, I mean, if he didn't kill, people like criminals would still be in society. So he's like definitely an anti-hero. So him not killing led to somebody else dying. That was an innocent person.
Definitely. And I felt like too he was like in a slump, like he like a baseball player would be or something like that. He goes like, I'm in a slump here. I need to do something. Mm-hmm. He sees Chino. I'm ready. I want to take him down. I like how at first he tries to do a tranquilizer gun with Chino to take him down, and there's a party going on, and Chino winds up catching Dexter in the act.
Yeah, he's like, I've been waiting for you. And then all his buddies come out.
And the next thing you know, Dexter runs off. He's in the sewer. So then he tells the evidence guy again, look, I'm having problems with snakes now. Before it was alligators or something, and now he's dealing with snakes. Do you have anything for snakes? And he goes, here you go.
Just buddy.
Just nonchalant. Here, take this. Here, have some extra ammo too. You're at it.
And you know what? He doesn't even realize. They don't even realize that he's actually helping them to commit murder. So
it's Florida. There's a lot of dangerous wildlife there.
Right, a lot.
And Florida man.
In Florida Man.
But like I said, this is also too when Agent Lundy comes in, takes over the Bay Harbor Butcher case. In a briefing, he says that the Bay Harbor Butcher and the Ice Killer aren't connected. Deborah is still going through PTSD after what it has she went through with Brian. We see that inside the bar where someone just touches her shoulder. She goes back, turns around, slaps him, and busts his nose and mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
that's when he starts the car killer, right? The car salesman. That's where he sees him for the first time. I think that episode.
That's when they introduced the car salesman.
Yeah, I think Dexter killed. This is right after Dexter killed Chino, so he finally got over his hump. He killed Chino. Now he's finding his next prey to stalk. Essentially,
he's got a sweet minivan.
Yeah,
where you can take the kids out to the beach or put dead bodies in, whichever.
Yeah,
whatever mood he's feeling.
He didn't plan on buying it, and even LaGuardia is like, "Hey Dexter, what's up with the minivan?"
I did like that moment a lot. I wrote that down. I was like, "That's a sweet moment with LaGuardia." Like,
I do have to say, "What's up with the mom-mobile?" is what she says, which I thought was actually pretty funny.
Yeah, a little ball bust.
And then Lundy, like when they introduced him during the presser, he didn't like the Bay Harbor Butcher name, and Dexter's like, finally someone we agree with in his mind. I mean, that's what I always loved about Dexter. Those inner thoughts of his. I mean, it's like the very sarcastic thoughts. Remind me of Daria. She was a serial killer. Like they said, thoughts.
Right. Definitely.
But yeah, I didn't like the Bay Harbor Butcher name anyway. Like, I mean, like I thought, like, I mean, it could have been a different name. It's kind of made Dexter look bad. And really, it didn't. He was like, and then how suddenly all 18 of those bodies were found in that same location. It's like, that's kind of weird.
Then on top of that, you also had comic books being written about the Bay Harbor Butcher. You also had people storming the police station, wondering if it was anybody of their loved ones and stuff like that. And then, of course, at the same time and everything, the person that took over for Loretta and everything is actually going through some home life issues of her own with her boyfriend cheating on her, might be cheating on her or not, and things like that, interfering with her police work. We see that actually happening when Loretta confronts her and everything about the case. And she goes, what was that? And everything. And then next thing you know she turns around and I'm froze.
That's a great face, Sean. Yeah, he'll be back. So yeah, I mean, LaGuardia, and then we'll discuss what really happened with the boyfriend. But it's like again, I'm not a huge fan of LaGuardia. It's just
like so watching this before the reveal that LaGuardia's sleeping with Asme, like I was like, man, why did I always hate LaGuardia? Like I was like, maybe I must be remembering the season wrong. And then when it showed LaGuardia with him, I was like, that's why I remember now.
And then of course the police station being home to like in that facility of all 18 of those bodies, and then
they open up the outside morgue.
Yeah, the outside morgue, and it was very like the ventilation. I'm like, how Dexter knew the whole intricacies of that. John froze again.
And then like Dexter meets, is it Lila? Right?
Yeah, the AA.
And then like remember they go out on their first thing together. And, like, they just go out and steal art. Like they just go steal art, like, and then it's like this was after Rita meets and like, hey, here's my sponsor, and then you knew Rita's face, like, oh shit, what did I just do? Like she knew, like deep down, Lila was gonna be a problem. It's like I'll see you in an hour, and she sees Lila. It's like, ooh, she thought it was like the other dude.
Yeah,
glasses or whatever.
I mean, Lila didn't look. She wasn't pretty. She was kind of a skink.
She's okay. I didn't like her acting, I guess. I thought it was over the top.
Yeah.
Super dramatic.
I called her a succubus.
Pretty good.
I could see that.
It's actually,
to be honest with you, especially especially how she takes advantage of Batista and everything too, and how she uses him.
And to quote one of my favorite wrestlers in AEW, her name is Dr. Britt Baker. There's a wrestler that showed up and she was very creepy looking, blood coming out of her face, and the quote was, "That bitch needs to find Jesus." That's what Lila needs to, because she's definition of sociopath. She's like, "Oh, you're leaving me, right? No, I can't have that. I need you to come back." It's like,
then,
yeah.
Then she try and get this. Dexter's not even trying to leave her at all to begin with at first, and then she decides she's going to try and burn down, her house.
Yeah, that was after the road
and
trip.
Everything. Yeah, the road trip.
Yeah,
Dex finds out that one of the killers of his mother is still alive.
And then he takes Lila with her and to go with him to go on the trip, and Dexter beats the crap out of the guy, and he can't really kill. Then it has the awkward moment in the hotel where he sleeps on her lap, and and then it's just then she starts becoming power hungry or succubus, like fun from all man, like Dexter's mind. You can't. What?
I think it was before that though, because let me tell you this: as Dexter's talking to his girlfriend Rita on the phone, here's Lila taking off her clothes to go take a shower. The door is opened. You can see everything, so she wants him to look. She wants him to watch.
Yeah,
and everything. So she's already trying to suck him in right then and there.
Yeah,
but he doesn't act on it. He winds up leaving so he can go kill somebody instead.
Yeah,
and he couldn't do it. Like I think Lila kind of told him not to do it, and then they get back and stuff, and then Lila is like getting more power hungry, and then we get the divorce, then the breakup, because before we go to the breakup, we got to talk about Rita's mom because she was a problem.
You know what? Yeah, let's talk about her. Rita's mom, for me, was a total bitch, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, apparently, I guess, did Rita cut her out, or did she step away when she was dating Paul?
I think she left. I think she left when she was dating Paul.
Because I know, Rita mentions that, you went away from us and now you're trying to come back in our lives.
And she kind of ruins, instead of helps, she kind of ruins the relationship between Dexter, because she was the one that kept forcing Dexter, hey, bring Rita, bring Lila, bring her along. Mm-hmm. And that's when Rita got hesitant with Dexter because of Lila. And it's all because of Rita's mom. And because Rita's mom finds the needle, and then how Dexter's in AA, and Rita's mom doesn't approve of it. You're just dumb. You're going back down the same situation you did with Paul. Rita's like, no. And Rita's mom's just being all over the place. And then then you find out more about why she's free, because she got fired from her teaching job, and how nobody would hire her. Rita's mom is a problem, and it's the apple. Unfortunately, the apple didn't fall far from the tree. Unfortunately,
she's just super judgmental to Dexter without really even knowing him.
No, without knowing him and what Dexter's done to help Rita, and for their relationship, and for the kids, all that stuff. I mean, Rita's mom is just terrible. That kind of gummed, and Rita's mom was the one that led to discussion. It was because when Rita and Dexter were going to his place, Lila calls, and Rita hears the phone call about our fun field trip.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah,
felt bad for her. It's
yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I think I played it off pretty good. Then what mom went great. But I didn't say anything about our spontaneous road trip that we took or anything. Yeah. But other than that, though, I think dinner was great. And all of a sudden, Dexter's trying to reach for the phone right away.
And Rita leaves, and then Dexter's being as confused as he is because he's never been in a relationship before. He thinks they're broken up, and then he goes to confront Lila and chokes her out, and he ends up doing her. I'm like, seriously, he choked her, and then he has sex with her the first time. Yeah. And then afterwards, Rita calls him, hey, I didn't like how things ended, which leads Dexter to be like so like confused in the head. And that's when they have the conversation. Did you sleep with Lila? And Dexter goes, not that night.
Yeah.
And he essentially was telling the truth, and he was telling the truth and kind of
honest. Yeah.
He was being honest. And he goes, not that night. And then that's when Rita kicks him out. And then that's when he starts getting more involved with Lila, and that's yeah.
Yeah, that's when he gets more involved with Lila, and not only that, then as time goes on, he realizes that she's not really good for him after all, even though she can actually connect with him with the Dark Passenger thing, on that level. It's not on that level that he thought it was actually going to be. So he tries leaving her. Lila goes on ahead, tries to burn down her home. Her apartment, and also the art gallery thing that she was trying to sell as well, because she had that thing sold for over $20,000 or more, and she burned that.
Yeah. She did it because when they're about to have sex in this other random person's house, Cody, Rita's son, called Dexter. Hey, I need your help with the project, because the kids they don't understand. Cody asked Dexter, can you show up to my project and help me out with this? And Dexter's like, sure. And Lila was like, I don't think you should do that. And Dexter's like, I'm gonna do it anyway. So he does it, and then he ignores her phone call the first time. That's what lets her being like, I'm gonna burn down my apartment.
Just super obsessive.
Yeah. Like cleany, very cleany.
I definitely agree. I mean, not only that, but also too, it was like a project that was supposed to be for history for the kid and everything, and he was doing a good job with it. Lila's trying to interfere with it and everything. Yeah. She does not like how much time that Dexter and him are actually, Dexter and the kids are actually spending together or anything like that. Perfect example is when, Batista starts dating her. And he goes, and then at that point, he's already back with Rita, but he's like, hey, Dex, I think it would be a good idea if you don't come, because I'm trying to work it out, because Dexter and Rita are trying to work things out and everything. Next thing you know, somehow or another, she sucks him into it.
Yeah. I think they weren't, like, at the time, they were getting, like Dexter was just being there. They weren't back to full dating until, like, maybe like the last episode or so, or like episode beforehand. They were back getting there. But it was like Lila's like trying to get onto Batista, and Dexter's warning Batista, like, don't do this, don't fall for her. And then while that was all going on, like Dexter's been trying to like throw them all, like Dexter meets Lundy in that first confrontation between Dexter and Lundy at the train yard or whatever, asking Dexter, hey, like, well, they did put it like before all this started, like Lundy puts together a task force, and that consisted of Masuka, who's just like weird. Yeah, as the lead forensic team or whatever he calls himself. Then you have Angel as part of the team, a couple other guys, and then his last pick was Deb. And Deb at the time didn't pick up on it, like, why me? I'm going for stuff. Why'd you pick me? And then how she takes full command of that position. I thought that was cool. And how that's led to the downfall of Dokes, because Dokes was pissed because he didn't get picked.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like not a backhanded comment, but it was like, hey, you're like when he talked to Lundy about being on the task force. Yeah. Lundy was like, you're more of a lone wolf. You do a good job of what you do, but you're not a team player, and that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and that's what led Dokes to get more interested in Dexter. I mean, Dokes finding out Dexter was an AA, and then Deb's like, what?
Yeah. That helped him for a little bit. That helped Dexter for a little bit.
Like, it got Dokes off him, and then Dokes start getting more infested in Dexter. Like, Dexter, like, intentionally, like, stabbing his tires. He's like, you owe me a new car. And then, like, that just led to more of Dokes chasing after Dexter. And yeah, and then we were just like going over the task force pretty much because that's a big pivotal part, and then all the people on it, and then the information how Deb takes full command of it, and then the interesting one was that little manifesto Dexter sends them.
Oh yeah, that's in episode 7 when he sends the manifesto. The manifesto is actually one of my favorite episodes because it's like a cat and mouse game that he's actually fooling around with them. It's all a bunch of jumble. Basically, it's just a bunch of BS. It's a bunch of stuff that doesn't make any sense or anything like that. And he just threw a bunch of random quotes together, some books with some quotes, movie quotes, different things, just to get people on their toes. And even Batista's getting in on it. And then, of course, you also have Masuka. He's actually getting in on it. And then the only person, then finally, after a couple of days of this going on, Lundy goes, it's not about shit. Like, what?
No, he picks up on it like immediately because Lundy's that good. I liked him. I liked his character. I think he's just like, he just like about Robert. He's a Carradine. I forgot his first name. He just plays that type of guy, kind of like that. Like his actor name. I think his last name is Carradine. I forgot his first name, but he's David Carradine's brother, one of his brothers. He it's like him being able to pick up on this, and then also the reason he picks Dexter is because Masuka's creeping the heck out of him, and it was like
right
to see London getting creeped out. Yeah.
Remember too, though. It's okay, but remember too, Deborah was even getting jealous at the amount of time that Dexter's even getting.
Yeah.
And he thought she thought it was because Dexter, he liked Dexter, but it comes to find out, though, he was only doing it to get away from Bazooka, which I thought was funny.
So that dude creeps me out.
And then like also while this is going on, while Dexter's focused, like send them in, he's focusing on his past, trying to find out this case file about what really happened between I think he's getting more information regarding that. And he's listening to like a tape, and he hears his father Harry talking to his mom, and it turns out, and then he finds out the two of them were having an affair. Yeah. So really, like that's why, and that got the interest, and Dokes is interested in this, and so and when Dokes is interested, that Dexter's like wondering why, and then this led to the big explosion in the office when Dexter headbutts Dokes, and Dexter's walking out intentionally so Dokes can clock him, make him bang his head on the desk, and that's what led Dokes to get caught off the team
and get demoted. And then also too, this is also what ends up being where he actually becomes a suspect in the whole entire investigation, because then they actually find out that they think that there's somebody inside of the precinct that is actually committing these murders. So even whenever they even investigate Dexter, though, it's like, okay, the top of the line blood splatter analyst, and you mean to tell me you let this killer go because of the fact that you were overworked? Because and then they ask, then of course Dokes gets involved, gets interrogated as well, and I forgot what the quotes was for that. Do you guys remember?
I think it's something like Dokes gets involved because they're asking Dokes, like, the reason this case fell flat, asking about this case, is because your blood splatter was overlooked, and Dokes immediately picked up, like, Dokes knew it was Dexter, so that's why Dokes left, and he left the interview, and Harry and Lundy kind of let him go because he was just taken back, like, wow, Dokes just left the interview mid-sentence. He's like, we still got more to discuss, and Dokes like, I'm done. And then that led to Dokes going into Dexter's apartment and stealing the blood slides. Yeah. While Dexter's out, I forgot where Dexter was. He was doing something. He was at the bowling alley because I think he got a call because he's trying to distance him from Lila, and Lila was like, go to the bowling alley. And at first, when you see her writing the location on the wall, I was like, okay, that's just her being obsessive, just so she knows where it is. And then They go to the bowling alley, and then that's while I believe this is where while Doak steals the slides. I'm thinking I could be 100% wrong, but and then when they're leaving, Batista and Masuka are driving at the guy that Dexter didn't kill, but the killer that one of the killer's mom shows up at the bowling alley, tries to stab Dexter. If Lila didn't say anything, Dexter would have gotten stabbed, and Dexter gets the knife off him while Lila's calling police, being the damsel in distress that she was in that moment. And then all of a sudden, you see Masuka pull out his Magnum gun, and it's like, "Where'd you get that?" I don't know. You don't know my life.
That made me laugh though, him pulling up that gun, but it also took Dexter off too.
That was
knowing,
a gun.
Yeah, that was. But
and then did anybody get that? Yeah, and did anybody get the plates? And then everybody's like, no. Dokes didn't get the slides then. I think Dokes got the slides while Dexter was killing the guy in the cabin.
That's right. Yeah, the guy who killed his mom.
Yeah. He killed him in the cabin.
Yeah.
And then that's how Dokes got the slides. And then after Dexter killed the guy, he's looking for his wallet, and he finds this post-it note of the location of the bowling alley. And that's when Dexter pisses that Lila tried to get Lila is involved the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And that's what led Dexter to just explode on that. And then that's when things start.
Isn't that when Lila then goes to Rita's house?
I think she went. She after Dexter confronts her, like, you're gonna leave them alone, or my passenger is gonna come out and get you. And I think after she was scared for that, then you see the shadow of her in Rita's apartment, because I think that Dexter was there in the cabin. He gets the phone call from Rita. Hey Dexter, you're the only one that has the keys, right? And then he's like, Rita, get your kids out of the apartment now. And then that's when he gets the cops involved, and he shows up, and then that's when he's like after everything's clear, he stays out, then he sleeps outside the whole night.
And that's where he leaves the body at the cabin.
Yes.
Right.
Now he has to go back and get it at some point.
Yeah. And then Oh, go ahead, John.
Yeah, and then that's also too where we actually have it to where Dokes is following him even more closely and everything too, because Dokes is also missing, which he's also now a suspect. And then also too, with Lila, she also drugged the nanny with Dexter's syringe that he actually has to drug his victims, because she found out that Dexter was going to try and kill her.
Yeah.
And everything. And
it was oh, go ahead, John.
It's okay. My favorite line though from Lila was, "Please excuse my tits." Whenever
when Deb finds the bullshit, like Deb read her so hard, like, you really gonna stay with that bitch? I mean, seriously, she's damaged goods. Like, you sound like, don't fall for this. Like Deb knew instantly when he saw her. He's like, Dexter's not here. Oh, what? You just picked up that Dexter's not at work? Like, this nonchalant, like, bashing like that. But it was like Dokes was in Haiti trying to get the analyst on the blood slides. But the interesting thing is because when Dexter spent the night at Rita's outside, he noticed these two cars following him, like two guys following him in the car, and he thought it was somebody related to Dokes. And he's like, all right, should I go home and get dressed to go to work, or should I go get this body? I'm going to do the safer thing. My body can wait. So he goes to work, and then that's when I think at some point they asked Dexter. I think either Deb is either Deb's at the house with them, and then the officers knock on the door. Mr. Morgan, we need you to come with us.
Yeah, he finds out that his slides are missing, so he's assuming that.
Yeah, he's assuming somebody has them.
Yeah, like the federal Lundy already has them. So.
Yeah, and then he gets escorted in, and they talked about like that all the things that's been leading up Dexter getting caught, and then they said, you know this guy very well. Our number one target is Sergeant James Dokes.
Yeah,
and then Dexter's like, oh, okay.
Because they're the ones that had the slides, but they got them from the trunk of Doak's
of his car while he was in Haiti. While he was flying, when he's flying to Haiti to get a guy, an independent guy to look at it that he knew from his Navy SEALs days to get a look at the slides, but he asked for the money first or whatever first before, and I was like, that was not a smart move by Dokes. And then LaGuardia, being his boy toy, is calling him up, telling him, "Hey, James, they found your slides." So LaGuardia's kind of being an accomplice in this,
right? And also, too, my favorite line that Dexter says, "All my old friends came to rat me out," talking about his slides that he has.
Yeah.
And then the funny thing is, then you have the FBI agent, Lundy, who asked Dexter, "Can you go ahead and analyze these slides for me?" So all this work that James was going to do, now Dexter's going to do, even though he already knows what's on those slides already. He could probably even pick out which ones are the victims, what the names are, without even having to analyze them.
And then right before that whole thing happened, they had FBI guys, before all this happened, they had Deb Lundy and Batista were looking at this old case file, and then that's what led them to keep investigating what's going on with this. And then that's when they picked up somebody took a car from the parking lot of our MPD and they put it back there, and that's when they picked it up because Deb and Batista didn't believe it was one of their own, and the two of them were like, "Oh, shit, one of us is the and that's what led to the Lundy having all these FBI guys come in there and these tech analysts that didn't really know what to do. Mr. Morgan, can we get your password and stuff? And Deb was like, I can help you through that. Nope, we're good. You're good. We don't need you. And then Dexter comes back at the one just watch this. You guys know what you're doing, right?
Yeah, he's like, make sure, watch these slides. They're just in. It's like, oh, we'll come back in 12 hours. They're like, no. Stay here, monitor the temperature. It can't go above this. I'll be back and check on you guys.
Yeah.
And then that's whenever he goes on ahead and tries to get the body out of the cabin.
Yeah.
That's also when he goes in there.
And that's when, surprise motherfucker, Joke shows up at the cabin because I think he had a tracker on Dexter's boat because Dexter's under FBI guard. Front and back.
He has to get out of his own apartment to get away from the FBI agent. And then Blu-ray Addict said something. He says, "I'm almost done rewatching season 1 of Dexter. I have 2 episodes left. I haven't rewatched it in years. Looking forward to the revival." Definitely. You know what? That's actually a perfect name for Dexter for this new season is Dexter Morgan Revival. Yeah, that's actually perfect.
Wars Resurrection.
Right.
That's the new title for the new Matrix. But yeah, so Dexter has to sneak out of his own apartment and take his boat to get to the location. And then unbeknownst to Dexter, Dokes probably had that bug, so Dokes knew exactly where the cabin was. And that's what led to a struggle between the two of them. Dokes, being the guy that he is, can't really fight a hand-to-hand. He has to use the weapon against Dexter, and he shoots Dexter in the leg.
Yeah.
Don't forget, in Dexter's defense, though, he knows jiu-jitsu. Because remember, Doak actually asked him, he goes, "What would a nerd need for advanced jiu-jitsu?" He goes, "An extra elective."
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Dexter gets the upper hand and ends up putting Dokes in a cage. And Dokes trying to plead with him the whole time. I'm like, "This is not you, Morgan. We can turn yourself in. This is going to be way bad for you," and all that stuff. While Dokes is trying to get away in a sense. And then I think the next morning, that's when Rita shows up and they're trying to reconcile. They weren't fully at the back to dating mode, but they're reconciling. And Dexter's trying to cover his leg because it's almost bleeding through a little bit.
The thing with Dokes also leads to him looking more into his father. His past.
What really happened to his father?
Mm.
And then he's like, Oh, go ahead, John.
Oh yeah, and also too, don't forget about the guy with the cocaine that he killed, and then the guy who's actually after the cocaine comes in and everything. And Dexter's like, "Well, I wonder if he knows about the cabin, because if he knows about the cabin, that means that I'm going to be dead. I'm going to be dead whenever this guy comes in." So he goes, Yeah, I have it. Meet me at the cabin. He doesn't even know what the cabin is, and then all of a sudden, a couple of hours later, he's like, "I'm at the cabin. I want my cocaine."
Yeah.
Do you think he was worried about that, or was he worried about the guy finding Dokes in there, and maybe that guy harming Dokes? Because it does, even like because the whole time when this is going on, he's also fighting if should I turn myself in, or should Dokes take the fall. So he does have some sort of where he wants to protect Dokes a little bit, until he comes down to it and he's like, hey, I got a personal life and you don't. So
and another thing, right. And then Dokes is also trying to tell him, look, you have a conscience now. You have a conscience. The code and everything that you were taught is total BS and everything. You have a reason. You don't have to do this and anything. He goes, no, I got to do this. And everything's sorry, but there's no other way. Because at that time, the guy who actually found the cabin, who has the cocaine, who wants the cocaine, comes in. Dexter knocks him out. He puts him on the table. And Dokes goes, what the hell are you doing? He goes, I'm sorry, I got to do this. And then he has puts the plastic wrap up and everything, and he's just pleading with him. And then all of a sudden, you see the blood splatter go over to the wrap, and then and of course, Dokes is just horrified by the time he revealed Dokes. He goes, just get the fuck away from me, is what he said.
Yeah.
And then that's what caused the flashback to remember his dad saying that to him.
Yeah, and then but what also happened too is like when Dokes is trying to get a cell phone because he knows the cell phone, and Dexter's like, oh yeah, so he steals the cell phone, but also before he killed the guy that killed his mom with the same way with the chainsaw, and that was like seeing him with the chainsaw, and he's got this face shield on, and then the guy he killed, like I said, he intentionally gave Dokes a water bottle, but not unbeknownst to Dokes, it was drugged. So Dexter can get his fingerprints to put them on the weapons and then kick them off into the into the water, so the scuba team would find it, and they just add more to Dokes, and then this, with everything that was going on, and then Dokes is like getting set up for this, all the weapons, and then he killing the guy, and then he's getting more, and then him and Rita are getting back together with the kids. So they're on the boat. And what do we know? We thought we got rid of Lila. Nope. She shows up. She's stalking them. Goes into steals in Dexter's car. Steals this GPS thing. And then that's also when she does her fake, I got raped by Batista because she took some roofies.
Yeah.
And that's what led Deb to finding out that this is bullcrap. So her going to Lila telling her, you need to get out. I want to arrest your ass, essentially, like kind of threatening her. And then once Deb left,
because she was using a fake, she was using an alias,
her fake alias, and how Deb was using her police work, and she was like fully serious getting this girl out. And then Lila like finds the GPS, and then the end of one of the episodes, I think it was episode 11, is she goes to the cabin and hears Dokes asking for help, and then Lila goes in there asking what's going on here, and she's like, oh, poor Dexter, and Dokes like, oh shit, and then Lila turns on the gas, turns on the propane, Dokes trying to get out, and then when he can't, and then the explosion happened. That was after Dokes escaped, found these two guys in a boat. Turns out they wanted the coke.
Because he was a policeman, and then he goes, "Oh, Policia, no!" And next thing you know, he's right back where he was. And they put him back in the cage again.
Feel bad for him. He's having a bad couple of days.
And then Laguarta's trying to plead his case, saying he's not the Bay Harbor butcher. Look, I have these notes, and then Lundy's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. The sad thing is, you might be right, but you're an accomplice because you called him." And then her playing the victim card here, and then Deb's not buying it. I'm like, that's bull crap. I'm like, she's like, and then LaGuardia's playing and then she was Dokes' mom and sister and Dexter were the only ones to show up to his funeral. Nobody else did because they didn't really that. And then Lila like finding out that, and then when Dexter finds out that Lila, no, and he approached like he was about to we're gonna go to the aquarium. We're gonna go on a trip. Just get ready. And then Dexter is hiding in the background with his stuff, and he's got the syringe. And then when he shows and when he sees like somebody within her, he almost injects Deb.
Yeah.
And then Lila steals stuff, finds out it's the weapons, and then that's when she realizes that, and then she was about to turn him in as the Bay Harbor Butcher with the materials and stuff, and then that's let Lila to inject the nanny, steal the kids, and go back to her burn up apartment, and then you see the giant ugly portrait of Dexter that she painted.
The funny thing is, Batista also helped with that design, though. And Batista didn't even realize that he was painting Dexter.
Yeah.
Which I thought was actually kind of creepy, but also funny, though, at the same time. Yeah. Because all he knew was he was just creating art with Lila. It was just something that they were doing together. And also, too, that also led up to Batista and her actually sleeping together.
Yeah. I was going to say, he had something else on his mind. Oh.
Yeah. He was thinking more of his bill in his head.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. So we're going to have sex after I get done doing a picture of Dexter.
After I finish this wall, right?
Yeah, if my walls, I'm going to be thinking about Dexter while I'll do it with you. But yeah, we can still do it. I mean, and then how they find her DNA, she popped popcorn on this thing.
I give Batista credit because Dexter does warn him about her. And he's like, man, I just want to have some fun. I just need to get rid of all this stuff going on with my divorce and everything.
Yeah.
She's gonna use you. That's good.
Yeah, he's like, that's fine with me.
Yeah, and then so Lila steals the two kids after Rita and Dexter are officially back together, and the kids are happy, like, "Hey, Dexter, you're back. That's awesome." And then the kids are at Lila's, so she burns her apartment again, trying to burn all of them with them. Luckily, the kids are out, and how Dexter is able to get that strength to go through that wall. Oh, that was pretty cool. And then Deb contemplating her future with Lundy, who's moving to another area, and Deb was about to go, and then she's at the taxi. He's like, "Rrr!" She's like, "Fine, I'll stay and help my brother." And then luckily she shows up, and I'm like, "And how'd you know it's here?" One of your Rita's neighbors saw this shady looking woman walk, so I knew instantly it was Lila. So Lila escapes. And Deb and Dexter is able to get out, and the kids are safe, so that was cool. And then I think my favorite part of the season, I was in Paris or whatever, and then she sees the postcard.
Yeah,
and he shows up. Hello, I gotta make this quick. And he gets her. That was my yes, finally getting her, and then stabbing her. I'm like, I was about to say, it's like, if he was thinking about keeping that body, how is he going to get that on the airplane?
But you know what? I know that before he was probably hesitant about killing Lila because she didn't really meet that code that Harry had.
Yeah.
But with all the messed up stuff that she's done, she killed somebody, which is against Harry's code. She's already kidnapped the kids, which was against Harry's code. Everything that Lila did was against Harry's code, including faking that you got raped by somebody with the roofies and everything when that didn't even happen. So everything that led up to that was Lila's doing and everything.
Yeah.
So I thought it was perfect on the way that Dexter actually handled that.
And that's actually I just saw one of the chats. One of our friends, Sean, is on there. Nick.
Oh, did.
Oh, okay.
Fire and bacon. I just picked up on that, but yeah, and then him getting Lila was the best part of the whole season. And seeing Dokes go out like that, that was kind of sad, but that was the only highlight of Lila finally getting the Dokes, and then LaGuardia playing the sad card, the whole victim card here. Woe is me! I got my job back, but I lost Dokes, the only one that understands me, that I have no problem pushing. I'm surprised he was able to work with her all this time, because LaGuardia ripped him off, took credit for something that she didn't do or whatever. And it's just so I was happy seeing her upset, because I didn't want anything nice happen for LaGuardia, and she doesn't deserve it. But
another thing though, too, we've got to mention the plot twist with LaGuardia though, with the boyfriend. She was sleeping with the boyfriend so she can get her
boyfriend to get her job back.
And then once she got her job back, the boyfriend still wanted to be with her, Loretta, and then she's like, "No, your job is done. Go on ahead. Go back to your."
I see. I respected that. She was like, I'm just trying to get my job back. So I'll do whatever I can to get there. So yeah, like I said, burn bridges, whatever. Right, yeah. You served your purpose. Get out of here.
We did the deed, and we're good. Like, I don't need you anymore. Like, and then then you see like the ending montage of like Dexter and the kids and Rita all back together. So that's a cool. And then all the members of the task force getting medals of honor and like badges and stuff. And then you see Dexter just clapping because he knows that part's that nobody's looking for him anymore right now. He's got his happy life back, so he's just ready to find the next person to take on. And yeah.
And that's pretty much the end of that season. And I actually loved how the season wrapped up. I thought it wrapped up really good. We don't have Dokes anymore harassing him. Everything that we had problems with in the first season with some of the characters are now gone.
Yeah.
And like I was actually thinking, to be honest with you, I thought they would actually get rid of Dokes in the third season rather than the second season. But it was good to actually see them do something kind of different than something by the numbers that you would actually do with a TV series. So I definitely love the fact that they got rid of him in the second season rather than waiting until like maybe the third season to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know about you guys, but like I said before, I still think Dokes was like a dick. But near the end of the season, I don't know, I kind of did like him a little bit, like with his one-on-one with Dexter. He didn't seem like all of a bad guy. Like, yeah, he was an asshole, but he just wanted to turn in bad guys. I mean,
And the other sad thing is when Dexter find out what really happened to his father. That was kind of sad to find out. The last thing, like right before his father died, it was seeing Dexter in the act, and then he had a heart attack.
Yeah.
And that like seeing that his dad he committed suicide. And that's what was guilt tripping Dexter the whole time too, about should I just give this up because the last person, both Dokes and my dad, saw me in the act and they got like upset.
Yeah.
Stockholm syndrome. But yeah.
So and then finding out from Captain Matthews about what really happened to his dad, that's what was kind of like a bummer for Dexter to find out that his father figure committed suicide. And that was kind of a deal for Dexter.
Felt like he gave up that information too easily.
Yeah.
Like literally Dexter just asks him, be like, "Come here, let me tell you."
Yeah.
It's like, come here, son. Let me tell you a story.
Yeah. Let me wrap up this plot point real quick.
The funny part I did find was right before Deb and them found the cabin, Dexter was about to tell everybody, like he was he had that dinner with Deb with the steak, him cooking the steak, and him going for the mine of like, and now he's a butcher. And then like her either laughing it off, shoot him in the head, or just arresting him. I mean, and then
that was fun. Yeah,
that was funny.
Listen, Mr. Weatherby, hell yeah. Another funny bit though that I liked was when he was actually trying to get a will together just in case anything happened. And
Deb's like,
what the fuck is this? Yeah. Well, people my age, they said that it doesn't hurt to actually have a will.
Like,
I'm like, you don't have no kids.
She's like, I want your big screen TV or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, is it your TV or is it your house?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, and then so Deb never really truly found out the real truth about her father because Dexter didn't really feel like mentioning it, but I like Deb, how she just read for Lila's bullshit the whole time. I'm like, really? Like, she got offended with, oh, excuse my tits. Like,
which just shows, and I mean, as the series progresses, you see it too, that she does have good instincts. Like, Deb's a good cop.
And then everybody's just like, look, where is this being a bitch to her?
Yeah, it's like I was actually talking to my wife about this, because we're talking about Deb and how, like, she's a really good, like, noir character to where you have this character that has their ups and downs. And I feel like you saw at the beginning of this to where she was like the bottom because of getting over the ice truck killer. And now she's kind of up top. But if I remember correctly, as the series progresses, she goes up and down a lot.
Yeah.
Depending on the season, which I always appreciate because it's you have a character and you don't want it to always be smooth sailing throughout the series. Like you might have little ups and downs, like little jumps, but I feel like Deb is definitely goes all the way up into the bottom, like
either up like the high fat, then or to quote Moneyball, high up like rich. She's a rich team, and then she's a poor team. Then there's 50 feet of crap. Then there's Deb. Like I mean,
start from the bottom. Now we're
here.
That's Deb for season 2.
Yeah,
definitely.
But you get both ends, down at the bottom, all the way top. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought this season was a lot of fun. I can't wait to review season 3 and everything. So that's pretty much everything that we wanted to talk about. Was there anything else that you guys want to touch on, real quick, or anything?
No, I will say that when we were talking about, or when you guys were talking about doing season 2, I do remember not liking it at all. But on my second on this watch through, I actually enjoyed it. I didn't think it was bad as I thought it was. I guess so. If you've seen the series before and were thinking about watching along with us to get up to the new season, I would say I'd recommend going back and watching season 2. I think it actually benefits for a second viewing.
I mean, it's like Nick just said best part of season 2 at the last moment of the last episode.
Well, that was your fault. That was your part, right, Charlie?
Yeah, Dexter in Paris. Yep. I mean, it's like, when the first couple episodes, I'm like, oh, like that, and then when I watched like 4 episodes at once, I'm like, okay, isn't as bad as I thought it was been, especially when the back end of it, when Dexter getting rid of the Lila and going back with Rita, and then the whole Dokes sequence of him finding out it was Dexter. Like from like the moment I was like I kind of enjoyed the season was when Dexter headbutts Dokes. Like he flat out headbutts him, like, and then Dokes is taken aback by it because Dexter can put up a fight. That my only point is we didn't get a true fight between the two of them because I think that would have been a great fight. But like as it progressed, it's a little bit better. I mean, I know there's a lot of down points, but there's some good moments in it. But the redeeming factor is Dexter killing Lila in Paris. That was, and it was the postcard that gets her.
Sets everything right.
Yeah.
Well, it's really like she's like the main villain of this season.
Yeah.
Do you think about it? There's no like real bad guy. You have Dexter trying to avoid being caught as the Bay Harbor Butcher, and then you have Lila.
Yeah.
Like you kind of consider Dokes maybe, but
I kind of see Rita maybe a little bit, like at first.
I would have to say Lila.
Yeah, Lila. Yeah.
I said Rita too a little bit. I think it's like a tandem, but like mainly Rita because Rita told Dex to go to AA, and then when Dex goes to AA, it all goes downhill for Rita.
Yeah.
Introducing Lila, and then here's my sponsor, and then the sponsor So Rita was the tipping point of Dexter's downfall, and then that's what led to her downfall.
Mm-hmm.
Nick said Dokes definitely the antagonist.
Yep.
But Lila was horrible this whole one. She was annoying the whole time.
Yeah,
her accent was just really bad. It was like it's just like you couldn't got anybody else to play Lila.
Shoot, they should have gotten Elizabeth Hurley to play Lila if they wanted to. That would have been an interesting. I think she would have actually done perfect.
Yeah, she would, but she's got the accent. I mean,
right.
Keira Knightley. She kind of looked like her for some reason, a little bit. When I was looking at her, Keira Knightley looked.
I mean, Keira Knightley would have been perfect for Cable, crop top.
Domino.
Yeah, this is pretty much everything that we wanted to cover, guys. But do you have any questions for us in the comments or anything like that, as far as what about Dexter or anything like that? If not, we're gonna go on ahead and end this. Let's see here. Nicholas says Lila equivalent to Janice from Friends. Yes. I do agree with that. I agree with you with that, Nick. So anyways, guys, that's actually going to do it for us for the show. Another thing, too, I want to actually mention that we're all also sponsored by Audible. And speaking of Audible, Dexter is at the books and everything. This matter of fact, the book series is actually out there and everything. If you're interested in actually reading Dexter, so if you want to, go on ahead and check that out and everything over on Audible. They actually have the books available. I think you mentioned that too, Sean. That
Yeah,
the
use your
book
free one or your free book when you sign up. I think new members you get one free book, right?
Yeah, you get matter of fact, you got 30 days for Audible for free. So go ahead, sign up with Audible. Click the link below. Another thing, too, guys, is if you guys want to, you guys don't have to, but if you want to show us some love, go ahead and donate to us at the GoFundMe link below. Another thing, too, is if you want to go for all your entertainment needs and wants and want to see our movie reviews, TV news, movie news, go to www.movieloversunite.com. You can also follow us at Movie Lovers TV Loves Unite on Facebook, Movie Lovers TV Loves Unite on Instagram. Movie Lovers Unit is where you can actually follow me on Twitter. You guys can also follow me on Twitter at JohnDeGorio8. And then we also have Pinterest at Movie Lovers TV Loves Unite over there as well. That's going to be it for us for tonight. I'm glad that you guys actually had a chance to chat with us a little bit, talk about Dexter. We cannot wait to do season 3. Go on ahead, start up Dexter as soon as you can. Just go from season 1 and go to season 2. If you want to go ahead and go past where we are on season 3, go ahead and do so. If you want to just wait until we review season 3 and just do a watch along with us, you can do that too. And always until next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.